Hello and welcome to Bears Talk presented by J. Brown Realtor. I'm joined alongside head football coach Mike Jacobs here on this Thursday, September 7th. Coach, let's start off a week one victory, 45-7 over against St. Augs. How does it feel to start off the season with such a commanding result?
Yeah, I mean, we're really happy with the result. Our players worked, and really the work started as soon as the season ended last year, and to put it all together and have a pretty dominant performance on Saturday here between the bricks was a really great way to kick off the season for us.
The running game was the highlight. Dillard and Turner Knox had incredible days. Zahir Dillard over 90 yards, and then Xavier and Turner Knox had 77 to go along with it as well. What's the confidence level like in your running back room right now?
Yeah, it's extremely high. We feel that room's, 4 or 5 guys deep. Dwayne McGee will get added back to the mix, and you still have Jadis Davis who contributed in that game, and you saw our quarterbacks get involved in the run game a little bit. So extremely high in terms of what we expect and what we think that room's capable of with the guys that are in it.
You mentioned with the quarterbacks as well as Sean White. We saw at the tail end of the 2022 season, he started to really feel more confident running the ball. He had some good runs on Saturday. What is that dual threat emphasis that he's tried to really improve on? Has that been an area where Sean White's really tried to grow?
Yeah, I think part of what Sean's doing is as he's played more games, he feels more comfortable. And then the other thing is Sean can run. Like, he can run a little bit, and we've known that for a long time. And I think what he's done a great job of is he's finding ways to extend plays, or he's finding ways to make plays on called runs with his feet, and that's just an added element for us.
Keelan Parsons got the scoring started here in 2023 with an early touchdown, and then he found his second touchdown before the break. What were you impressed about and pleased with the performance of your junior to really get your offense going in that matchup?
Yeah, I think Keelan, in both instances, the 2 catches happened to be touchdowns. And I think with his, 3 or 4 on the day, that put him over 100 catches for his career. So, I think that's an interesting tidbit, and a guy who, it just proves he's been doing it for a really long time. It seems like Keelan's been here forever. He's really only a junior for us, and he's played a ton of football.
Your front seven proved to be a very unblockable force on Saturday. Only 2 rushing yards for the Falcons. You held 5 rushers into negative net yards as well. What kind of message does that relay, not across just Division II, but the SAC as well?
I mean, we talked a little bit last week, you and I think the big key going into the game was, regardless of the level of competition or who we were playing, we wanted to operate and function at a high level, and I thought really the total defense did that. And in particular, the front seven, I thought Connor Lecheski in his first game after redshirting last year played extremely well. Zeke Nance had a couple of sacks. It was good to see the senior start his 6 years COVID year out with a big day. And then Andre and Rashad Yelding, those guys that have played a lot of football for us, and they all played well. And then you add in the 3 linebackers with Percy King and John Ross May and Devin Hibbett, and all those guys combined have played a ton of football, and they really executed at a high level Saturday versus St. Augs.
Another area on your team that personally I thought you guys did well at was finding that special teams, because last week we sat down and we talked about some young players coming in. Jake Brown went 6-6 on PATs. You got him to have that late field goal there as well. Stuart Simmons, new punter, he came in, had a 50-yard punt, put one inside the 20 as well. And then, of course, Diari Rogers, who redshirted last year, first punt return with LR. He brings it back to a touchdown to electrify that crowd. It was a 45-7 win, and special teams does make a difference in those outcomes. But I felt like the playmaking by your new faces on special teams was the really big X factor on Saturday.
Yeah, anytime you can score touchdowns with special teams, and we had 2 on Saturday, obviously with Diari Rogers getting it kicked off, but Diari's a guy that we really had seen progress throughout the course of his redshirt year. And to be honest with you, had the redshirt rule that's in place right now where kids can play in up to 3 games and still maintain their redshirt, you probably would have seen Diari playing for us late last season, because it takes kids different times to get ready, but by the time he was ready to go, he was making plays against us. So it really wasn't shocking to any of us that he came out and had a really productive day and had the big play on the special teams. And then as far as the kickers go, kicker and punter, I thought Stuart Simmons did a nice job, did what we asked him to do. And then Jake Brown has been consistent for us all training camp, which helped him win the job, and is exciting to see him go out there and execute at a high level on Saturday in front of a packed house.
You mentioned that redshirt rule. We saw Kamani Robinson, true freshman, start that second quarter. What are your plans with the true freshman this year?
Yeah, I think it'll see. We're taking a kind of a wait and see. As guys get ready or we feel they're ready to contribute, then we won't hold back to play them and kind of see how it goes. Kamani was a guy that had made some big plays for us in the preseason, and we felt like this week one was a good chance to get him some game action and kind of see where we were at. But that quarterback room is extremely talented. Jalen Ferguson's a guy who continues to impress everybody with the way he works and how he does stuff, and I think at some point you'll eventually see him down the road as well. So.
First road game of the year. It's always exciting to hit the road and go to another venue, but this will be a tough challenge against a Fayetteville State team that was in the NCAA playoffs last year. What is your, excitement going on the road and taking on Fayetteville State?
Yeah, as much as we love to play at home, sometimes on the road eliminates some of the other things that distract players, right? And so you really get to kind of have that bunker mentality when you go on the road, and I think our players are looking forward to it. But, Fayetteville State presents a huge challenge. They're the reigning CIAA conference champions. They got quite a bit of their players and their roster back intact from that championship team. And as you mentioned, they were an NCAA playoff team last year. So, they struggled a little bit against UNC Pembroke in a very closely contested game, but you can see they got playmakers and athletes all over the field. They're well coached, and we expect a really good game on Saturday.
Is there a certain area that you want to see your team improve on in week 2?
Yeah, I think any time that you play the first week, there's a handful of things that maybe the trained eye catches that the others don't. 7 penalties for me is a few too many, right? We don't mind the course of gameplay ones, but we got to clean that up just a little bit. And then there's some alignment things that we need to do a better job on. But other than that, really just want to see our guys grow. I want to see us take the next step, and I want to have a great week of practice leading into this game. And I think we'll have an opportunity to have a really great game Saturday.
All right, well, Lenoir-Rhyne 1-0 start to the year. They look to make it 2-0 as they go on the road to take on Fayetteville State on Saturday, September 9th. Kickoff at 6 p.m. You can tune in on WHKY. Welcome back to Bears Talk, presented by J. Brown Realtor. We are now joined alongside the head women's and men's cross-country coach, and Kevin Paterson. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
First off, how excited are you to start your season this Saturday, but at home as well?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we host the conference championship in October at Southside Park in Newton, North Carolina. So we've been really busy setting everything up. I think it's going to be a fun course. I think it's going to be a fast course. I think it's going to give us a great opportunity. We haven't hosted conference since 2017, so and a meet out there since 2019. Before the pandemic, so it's going to allow our family and friends to get out there, cheer on the Bears. So, I've been walking about 10 to 13 miles, setting that thing up every single day, but it's definitely worth it.
What does that mean for Lenoir-Rhyne's cross-country program to have the SAC championship back here at home?
It's huge. We this year is going to be a lot of SAC championships here on campus. Mm-hmm. We're going to host the outdoor championship in track and field as well. But to have that spotlight on us and be at home, when it comes to cross country, we get to practice there once a week. So we're going to have that edge. We're going to know exactly where the K is, where we need to move, where we need to attack. So it's going to give us definitely an advantage with that. And then any championship that you have the opportunity to sleep in your own bed the night before is huge. So we're going to be able to get into a really good routine where we're going to be fresh, we're going to be happy, we're going to be healthy, and we're hopefully put on a good show.
2 experienced squads coming back for the men and for the women. We'll start with the women. They finished 4th last year in the cross-country SAC championships. How excited are you to get to see your women's team go back out there? And have there been any student athletes that you're really excited to hit the course this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're definitely led by Paige Ewald and Liz Kessler, are two of our more established athletes out there. But I'll tell you what, this is the deepest women's squad we've ever had. With Janet graduating last year, only being the second All-American in program history, that leaves a big gap. But, when we're at practicing, we had a great workout this morning, and we probably have about 8 or 9 girls really vying for that top 5 spot. So we've never had that depth. So I think that's going to allow us to have a really, really good season.
The men are also very experienced as well. They're looking to build off of their 9th place result in last year's SAC championships. What do you feel about the men coming into 2023?
So again, I think this is our best group. Our top 3 has really, solidified themselves at practice, so we're excited about that. I really think that we have 3 of the best athletes in the SAC, and we have about 4 or 5 guys that are really fighting for those 2 spots. Being our top 5, being our top 7 when it comes to regionals. But I'm really excited. I have some high hopes for them. I really think that we could, really kind of establish ourselves in the conference and be a top 8 program at the NCAA regionals as well.
A new coaching staff this year, you've retooled, you've brought some new faces in. How much have they helped elevate this program?
Ton. I am so excited. This is my biggest staff that I've had here at LR. So I'm excited to have the talent that I have. Bringing Kayana Lewis full-time, getting her that promotion was huge. Not only for me and everything that she brings to, help me on the day-to-day, but for our student athletes. She has elevated her event group to the next level, and has just been a tremendous resource for our student athletes. Bringing in Paris Vaughn, our associate head coach. He was a head coach for the past 3 years. So having that, associate head coach that has head coaching experience, again, it's just going to allow us to, really take advantage of all that experience. And then adding Cam Knutson on our distance side, that's something that we really worked hard as an administration to kind of give our distance athletes that kind of special attention that they deserve. Again, he's been a head coach. And then JC Suddeth will be taking over our throws group. Super excited about him. He was an all-conference at a school to be named later, but in our conference, so he brings Division I coaching experience. So I'm just incredibly excited about what we could bring to our student athletes to really continue to enhance their student athlete experience.
Not only the staff, but this is now your 5th year here. It's kind of crazy to reach this mark. How has this job really meant for you, and how has your time really been here in Hickory these last 5 years? Because it seems like the programs have been elevating underneath your lead.
Yeah, it's great. We've really taken the next steps, from a program standard. But as a family, we've taken next steps as well. We have a son that was born here in Hickory, and we continue to kind of grow our family. We, my entire in-laws have moved to Hickory. It's just been a really, really special move. My wife fell in love with this place when we came here for my interview, and it's just a tremendous community. She's an educator, so she's teaching in this community. So we're really, embracing everything that this community has to offer.
And you talk about that community. What do you want to tell that community now as you anticipate what should be a very exciting start to the season on Saturday?
Yeah, come on out. So the women will run at 9 o'clock. Come out and enjoy some really good competition. We'll have Wingate there, who's both men and women are ranked nationally. So you're going to get to see some really, really good racing, and continue to support us. And thank you for everything.
Awesome, Coach Paterson. Thank you so much for joining us here on Bears Talk.
Awesome.
Hello and welcome back to Bears Talk, brought to you by J. Brown Realtor. I'm now joined alongside the head men's soccer coach and Carlos Rubio, who is now 2 matches underneath this belt as the brand new head coach here at LR. We'll dive into your season shortly, but for you, how has it felt to become the head coach of this program? You've had the off season and now you're getting the season underway. How exciting has it been for you?
Super exciting. I mean, this program and this university means a lot to me. This is my 6th year here. Obviously the first one as the head, but I've been with this program for 5 years now, and I'm super excited to now be leading in as the head coach. We got a brand new team, really exciting young men joining us. Obviously, the results in the first couple of games haven't gone our way, but I couldn't be more pleased with the work that they put in pre-season and in the lead up to the games. They're prepared, and I'm sure that this weekend in our SAC opener, we're gonna be able to turn things around.
First year head coach, what are the expectations that you set for yourself in your first year underneath your lead?
Yeah, so compete. We want to compete at the top level. Obviously, this program, this university, that is the expectation. We're excited to meet it, and my expectation for this year is to always be better than we were the day before. So every day, get better, progress, develop. So when it goes to the closest stages towards the end of the season, be ready to compete at the highest level.
First two matches of the year, a tie on the road against Young Caris and a tough 1-0 defeat to Nova Southeastern on Wednesday night. What have these first two matches meant for your side before you get into conference play?
I mean, they learn a lot. We got 5 new players in the starting lineup compared to last year. Young players that obviously don't know what the level is in this region. 2 really good regional teams such as John Harris on a tough context on the field, difficult place to go, and they fought, they worked hard, and then we were able to come back after losing the lead and going 2-1 down. And so I'm very pleased on their courage and keep going. And yesterday was a difficult match. I think both teams did their best. We worked very hard, and it could have gone either way. I think Nova had the upper hand the first 45 minutes, and then we came very strong the second half. Unlucky to not be able to get a goal. I think we deserved it, but it's just the luck of the draw that is the sport. But we learned a lot. We are really prepared for now. Rule the SAC.
Yeah, 7 shots in that second half. You mentioned that the tides turned in that second half against Nova Southeastern, and part of the play is because of what Adrian Martina has done so far. He almost had an electric equalizer yesterday, had a brace against Young Caris on Sunday as well. Coming back for a second year, he's looking phenomenal. What are your expectations in your striker this year?
Yeah, Adri is a phenomenal player. He's someone special. He's one that he needs the ball on his feet. He makes things happen, and this year he's taking a more leadership role. With last year with players such as Danny and Carles, he had a secondary role in the team. But this year he's taken this new lead, and he's proven to be a fantastic player already on his time here. But now we can see him be a little bit more effective. I mean, two games on his belt, and he got 2 goals already, and just unfortunate to not be on 3. So the expectation for him this year is to keep leading the team on the score sheet.
Also, the back line returned some key pieces as well. Oliver Gardner, preseason All-SAC first team member, then Harry Rowe, preseason All-SAC second team member. I know for you, you've been with this program for a few years, but with your first season, being the head coach now, it must be really nice to have those 2 back there defending for your squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the back line that you mentioned, the most returning with our goalkeeper Juan, Moose, Ivan, Oli, and then obviously Harry too. So having those guys back means a lot, give us a lot of security on the back line, and we could hold teams such as Nova with a lot of attacking threat to only a few chances. And that's down to their work and how well they compete and how well they play on the back line. So having those guys back, it means a lot. And I know they're going to keep developing and keep being better, and we're going to be very competitive.
The fans that went out to the game on Wednesday night against Nova Southeastern saw some new faces in that starting 11. Who are you really excited about that's going to burst onto the scene this year for LR?
Yeah, someone that we've been really pleased with is Hector Nieto, our number 9 new striker. He is a special player such as Adri in a different way, but he's someone that is very exciting to watch. He's always working hard, running around, pressing the ball, and then technically he's someone special. So we knew that what we had when we recruited him, but it was really nice to see from the preseason how effective he could be at this level. So excited for him to keep developing, keep getting better, and getting his first goal pretty soon.
You mentioned the conference opener this Saturday against Tusculum. It's a program that comes off a SAC tournament championship. How eager are you going into conference play to defend that tournament championship?
Yeah, super exciting, super exciting. I know regional games are very important because obviously we're going to be at the national stage, and these games help towards the rankings, but there's nothing like playing in the SAC. And then obviously Tusculum have had a really good start of the season with 3 games, 3 wins. They haven't conceded 1 goal just yet. So getting him here at home in front of our fans for our SAC opener is a special deal. So we're very excited for Saturday. We're going to be ready, and like you said, we're defending the trophy.
Absolutely. 5 p.m. kickoff between Lenoir-Rhyne and Tusculum right here in Hickory, North Carolina. Coach, can't wait to see how your team performs in the SAC opener. Thank you so much for joining us here on Bears Talk.